Like this, step right in, ladies and gentlemen. That's the idea, that's fine. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the city room, the heart center of every newspaper. Editors, reporters, photographers who become your eyes and ears in war and peace, who make it possible for you to sit in your armchair and witness history in the making. Men and women who uphold the highest tradition of American journalism and are dedicated to the task of making you the best informed newspaper reader on this earth.
It's backtrack.
You see, I have my own ideas about what newspapers should be. And I know they can be a great deal better than they are. Now look at this. Blood and sex. Journalism is so much more than blood and sex.
You like my story about that murder? That's blood, isn't it?
Well, now, wait a minute. I didn't say that I disapprove of blood. It's just that...
How do you feel about sex?
Well, I'm all for it, but some... Good night, Mr. Gallagher.
Who wants yesterday's papers? Who wants yesterday's girl? Who wants yesterday's papers? Nobody in the world. After this time I finally learned. After the pain and hurt. After all this, what have I achieved? I realize it's time to leave. Cause who wants yesterday's papers? Who wants yesterday's girl? Who wants yesterday's papers? Nobody in the world. I'm living a life of constant change. Every day means a turn of the page. Yesterday's papers are such bad news. Same thing applies to me and you.
Yes, Mr. King, here's an editorial, Sally. I want you to run it the box on the front page.
This morning's front page, Mr. King?
That's right, Sally. That means we're going to have to remake again, doesn't it, Sally? Yeah. You better go down and tell them.
You only made the paper over 4 times tonight, that's all.
I've changed the front page a little, Mr. Bernstein. That's not enough. No, there's something I've got to get into this paper besides pictures and print. I've got to make the New York Enquirer as important to New York as the gas in that light. What are you going to do, Charlie? Declaration of principles.
You don't want to make any promises, Mr. Kane, you don't want to keep.
These will be kept. I'll provide the people of this city with a daily paper that will tell all the news honestly. And they're going to get the truth in the Enquirer, quickly and simply and entertainingly, and no special interests are going to be allowed to interfere with that truth. I'll also provide them with a fighting and tireless champion of their rights as citizens and as human beings.
Newspapers on the floor. Evening bells ringing. Watching ships come to shore. Through my window. When things take off. When things
I'm Carl Burns.
We're from the Washington Post. We'd like to know if we can speak to you for a few minutes. We understand your daughter works for the committee to re-elect. Would you object to just spending...
Okay, we know there were 5 men who control the slush fund.
Mitchell, Stans, and McGrew.
Yeah, those 3 we've got, and all 3 have been named by 2 sources.
Ferdinand Mitchell?
We know that he approved payments to Liddy while he was Attorney General.
Hold it. What?
Hi, excuse me.
Can I help you in some way?
Yeah, I'm Carl Bernstein. I've been waiting here since 9 in the
Did you
morning.
wait outside?
No. I'm the reporter from the Washington Post. We talked on the telephone yesterday, and you told me to come on down here, and I'm here.
Okay, yeah, look, I got the press here. I'm going to have to call you back.
We're about to accuse Haldeman, who only happens to be the second most important man in this country, of conducting a criminal conspiracy from inside the White House. It would be nice if we were right.
You double-checked your sources.
Yeah, right. Bernstein, are you sure on this story?
Absolutely.
Woodward?
I'm sure.
Yes? Hi.
Miss Milan, Betty Milan. Mm-hmm. I'm Bob Woodward.
Carl Bernstein.
We're from the Washington Post.
Oh,
We'd like
I know you're trying to do your job. You don't understand the pressure that we're under.
Just take a couple seconds. We just come in for a couple seconds.
No, I really...
No, we don't want to come in. We understand that there was some documents that were shredded at the committee.
Well, there's often shredding. I mean, we do that a lot.
Were you there during the shredding?
Yes, I was.
You guys are about to write a story that says the former Attorney General, the highest-ranking law enforcement officer in this country, is a crook. Just be sure you're right.
I read the news today, oh boy, about a lucky man who made the grade. And though the news was rather sad, well, I just had to laugh. I saw the photograph. He blew his mind out in a car. He didn't notice that the lights had changed. A crowd of people stood and stared. They'd seen his face before. Nobody was really sure if he was from the house of law. I saw a film today, oh boy. The English army had just won the war. A crowd of people turned away, but I just had to look, having read the book. I'd love to turn you
Freedom of the Press on Backtrack with A Day in the Life from Sgt. Pepper by the Beatles. Automatic Man peddled newspapers from their album of the same name. And we began our foray into the Fourth Estate with Yesterday's Papers by the Rolling Stones from Between the Buttons. This week in 1974, Bob Dylan began recording an album based on the breakup of his marriage. A track from those sessions is just ahead on Backtrack.
Gee, what goodness, the big G stands for goodness. It's a big G goodness pack from General Mills.
Backtrack, tracking back to this week in 1974 when Uriah Heep's bass player Gary Thane suffered a stiff electric shock while on stage in Dallas, forcing his band to cancel the remainder of their tour. Gary received another jolt by what he considered the group's insensitivity to his mishap, so he quit. Also that week, Bob Dylan began recording a new album, one supposedly based on the breakup of his marriage. From those Blood on the Track sessions, Tangled Up in Blue.
Early one morning the sun was shining. I was laying in bed, wondering if she'd changed it all, if her hair was still red. Her folks, they said our lives together sure was gonna be rough. They never did like Mama's homemade dress. Papa's banquet wasn't big enough. And I was standing on the side of the road, rain falling on my shoes, heading up for the East Coast. Lord knows I paid some dues getting through, tangled up in blue. When we first met, soon to be divorced, I helped her out of a jam, I guess, but I used a little too much force. We drove that car as far as we could, abandoned it out west, split up on the docks at night, both agreeing it was best. And she turned around to look at me as I was walking away. I heard her say over my shoulder, we'll meet again someday on the avenue, tangled up in blue. I had a job in the great North Woods, working as a cook for a spell, but I never did like it all that much, and one day the axe just fell. So I drifted down to New Orleans, where I'm lucky with a be employed, working for a while on a fishing boat right outside of Delacroix. But all the while I was alone, the past was close behind. I seen a lot of women, but she never escaped my mind. I just grew tangled up in blue. She was working in a topless place, and I stopped in for a beer. I just kept looking at the side of her face in the spotlight so clear. Later on, when the crowd thinned out, I was just about to do the same. She was standing there in back of my chair. I said to me, don't I know your name? I muttered something underneath my breath. She studied the lines on my face. I must admit, felt a little uneasy when she bent down to tie the laces of my shoes, tangled up in blue. And offered me a pipe. I thought you'd never say hello, she said. You look like a silent type. And she opened up a book of poems and handed it to me, written by an Italian poet from the 13th century. And every one of them words rang true and glowed like burning coal, pouring off of every page like it was written in my soul. But me to you, tangled up in blue. With him on Montague Street, the basement down the stairs. There was music in the cafes at night and revolution in the air. Then he started into dealing with slaves, and something inside of him died. She had to sell everything she owned and froze up in tell me now. Some are mathematicians, some are carpenters' wives. Don't know how it all got started. I don't know what they do with their lives. But me, I'm still on the road, heading for another joint. We always did feel the same, we just saw it from a different point of view. Tangled up in blue.
Rock history this week. Back in 1960, Congress banned payola. Shindig premiered this week in 1964. And 13 years ago this week, Pink Floyd released their tribute to Syd Barrett. 2 days later, it became their third gold album, Wish You Were Here.
Think you could tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail, a smile from a veil? Do you think you can tell? Did they get you to trade your heroes for ghosts, hot ashes for trees, hot air for a cool breeze, cold
took only 2 days to go gold after it was released this week in 1975. Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. A British guitarist who took his rock licks from the blues tops this week's birthday list. Coming right up on Backtrack.
101.9 KMPC FM.
Birthday greetings from Backtrack this week to two musicians old enough to run for vice president. Lal Cream of 10cc turns 41, and John Bowser Bauman of Sha Na Na, also 41. This week would have marked the 38th birthday of a British blues and rock guitarist who was an original member of the group Free, Paul Kossoff.
My way. I don't want to say goodbye, baby, but look at the tears in my eyes. I don't want to say goodbye, mama, but look at the way you made me cry. Never is a way that's nice. You show you got a heart that's made of ice, and I know fire and water must have made you their daughter. Now, but I'm gonna try to make you grieve somehow. Fire and water must have made you their daughter. You got what it takes to make a poor man's heart break. A poor man's heart break. And my heart is breaking. Yeah. You made me cry. Every way that's nice. You show you got a heart that's made of ice. And I know fire and water must have made you their daughter. You got what it takes to make a poor man's heart break. Fire and water must have made you their daughter. Baby, you got what it takes to make a poor man's heart break. Heart break. Baby, and my heart is breaking. Oh, my heart is breaking. Oh, listen.
More birthdays this week. Tim Hardin, who wrote If I Were a Carpenter and Reason to Believe, would have been 48. Gary Beckley of America is 36. Turning 63 is a blues giant who started out picking cotton in Indianola, Mississippi at 35 cents per 100 pounds. His Memphis radio show back in the 50s earned him the nickname Blues Boy. And since the 60s, he and Lucille, his Gibson guitar, have been a fixture on the blues and rock circuits. A very happy birthday to Riley B.B. King.
Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, wherever you'd lead me, I would surely follow. Girl, you put me through some pain and misery, and now you are standing on my doorstep, telling me how much you need me. Baby, ain't nobody home. Ain't nobody home. How many times I begged for you to come home, but you laughed at me and said, let me alone. Through my burning tears, I saw you walk away. And now you're begging me to forgive you. But this time, baby, it's your turn to pay. Baby, ain't nobody home. Baby, ain't nobody home. Girl, I used to love you. Place no one else above you. Gave you everything that I own. Girl, you can't come back here. Ain't nobody home. Nobody's home. Once upon a time, when you went on your way, girl, I hoped and prayed that you come back someday. But time has made some changes, turned me upside down. So you can beg me to forgive you. But this time, baby, you can turn right around. Ain't nobody home. Ain't nobody. Baby, there ain't nobody home. You know you hurt me once. Ain't nobody home. Oh, you can back me, baby. But it still ain't nobody home. Ain't nobody, baby. Ain't nobody home. I hear you knocking. But it ain't nobody home. Can you hear me, baby? Ain't nobody. Been hurt one time too many, baby.
It's BB's birthday. Happy birthday to B.B. King, along with Jim Keltner, Klaus Vormann, Bobby Keys, and Jim Horn with Ain't Nobody Home from 1971. Don't go away, because when we come back, Rhymes Without Reason on
Backtrack.
And what about his gift?
What gift?
His poetry.
To hell with his poetry! I want to make him a useful social human being.
I think maybe the poetry is a substitute for sex.
Awake. Shake dreams from your hair, my pretty child, my sweet one. Choose the day and choose the sign of your day, the day's divinity. First thing you see. A vast, radiant beach and a cool, jeweled moon. Couples naked race down by its quiet side. And And we laugh like soft, mad children, smug in the woolly cotton brains of infancy. The music and voices are all around us.
I think Shakespeare was probably as marvelous a human being as ever lived. I don't understand how any man knew as much as he did and understood human psychology as well. This is very good earthly wisdom that Polonius gives to Laertes. To thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night to day. Thou canst not then be false to any man.
Indians scattered on dawn's highway bleeding, ghosts crowd the young child's fragile eggshell mind.
Breathe deep the gathering gloom. Watch lights fade from every room. Bedsitter people look back and lament. Another day's useless energy spent. Impassioned lovers wrestle as one. Lonely man cries for love and has none. New mother picks up and settles her son. Senior citizens wish they were young. Cold-hearted orb that rules the night removes the colors from our sight. Red is gray and yellow white, but we decide which is right and which is an illusion.
You are a fluke of the universe. You have no right to be
train is nearly due. The underground is closing soon. In the dark, deserted station, restless in anticipation, a man waits in the shadows. His restless eyes leap and scratch at all that they can touch or catch. Hidden deep within his pocket, safe within his silent socket, he holds a colored crayon. Now from the tunnel's stony womb, the carriage rides to meet the groom, and opens wide and welcome doors, but he hesitates, then withdraws deeper in the shadow. And the train is gone suddenly, on wheels clicking silently, like a gently tapping litany. And he holds his crayon rosary tighter in his hand. Now from his pocket quick he flashes a crayon on the wall he slashes. Deep upon the advertising, a single word in foam comprising 4 letters. And his heart is laughing, screaming, pounding the foam across the tracks surrounding. Shadowed by the exit light, his legs take their ascending flight to seek the breast of darkness and be suckled by the night.
Life, which burned and bled in the triumph of my dream-dim days, where I stood steaming brightly in the sleep-spun, sight-stunned glimmer of that eagle-crested dream. Thrust through the draughty, tongue-tied pores of those whose tender envelope of word-washed flesh, flinging that nameless, bitter, tear-stripped cry to the ice-green, wind-whipped strawberry passion of my fractured spleens, old, lymph-grained, liquid lust.
Go placidly amid the noise and waste, and remember what comfort there may be in owning a piece thereof. Avoid quiet and passive persons, unless you are in need of sleep. Rotate your tires. Speak glowingly of those greater than yourself, and heed well their advice, even though they be turkeys. Know what to kiss and when.
Consider that 2 wrongs never make a right, but that 3 do. Wherever possible, put people on hold. Be comforted that in the face of all aridity and disillusionment, and despite the changing fortunes of time, there is always a big future in computer maintenance. Remember the Pueblo. Strive at all times to bend, fold, spindle, and mutilate. Know yourself. If you need help, call the FBI. Exercise caution in your daily affairs, especially with those persons closest to you. That lemon on your left, for instance. Be assured that a walk through the ocean of most souls would scarcely get your feet wet. Fall not in love, therefore. It will stick to your face. Gracefully surrender the things of youth, birds, clean air, tuna, Taiwan, and let not the sands of time get in your lunch. Hire people with hooks. For a good time, call 606-4311. Ask for Ken. Take heart amid the deepening gloom that your dog is finally getting enough cheese. And reflect that whatever misfortune may be your lot, it could only be worse in Milwaukee. You are a fluke of the universe. You have no right to be here. And whether you can hear it or not, the universe is laughing behind your back. Therefore, make peace with your God, whatever you conceive him to be, hairy thunderer or cosmic muffin. With all its hopes, dreams, promises, and urban renewal, the world continues to deteriorate. Give up.
You are
was a bread stasher all his life. He never got fat. He wound up with a used car, a 17-inch screen, and arthritis. Tamari is a drag, man. Tamari is a king-size bust. They cry, put down pot, don't think a lot. For what? Time, how much, and what to do with it. Sleep, man, and you might wake up digging the whole human race, giving itself 3 days to get out. Turn your eyes inside and dig the vacuum. Tamara, drag.
Here I meet my mockers, scorn for scorn. Why'd it have to be a poet, Rhoda? Why a poet? Why not a saint? Why this everlasting song? Something's wrong somewhere.
I once knew a poet, lived before his time. He and his dog Spooner would listen while he'd rhyme. Words to make you happy, words to make you cry. Then one day the poet suddenly did die, but he left behind the closet filled with verse and rhyme. Through some strange transaction, one was printed in the Times. for the king of underground. Well, they found him down in Florida with a tombstone for a crown. Everybody knows a line from his book that cost $4.99. I wonder if he knows he's doing quite this fine, 'cause his books are all bestsellers, and his poems were turned to song. Had his brother on a talk show, though they never got along. And now he's called immortal. Yes, he's even taught in school. They say he used his talents, a most proficient tool, but he left all of his royalty to Spooner, his old hound, growing old on steak and bacon in a doghouse 10 feet around. And everybody wondered, did he really lose his mind? No, he was just a poet who lived before his time. He was just a poet who lived before his time.
Poetry Men on Backtrack with Death of an Unpopular Poet by Jimmy Buffett from a white sport coat and a pink crustacean. And Simon and Garfunkel from Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme with Poem on the Underground Wall. Among the recitations, we heard from the Moody Blues, Richard Burton, Deteriorata by the National Lampoon, and Jim Morrison's Ghost Song from An American Prayer. Backtrack is produced for NBC by Westwood One, with thanks to Bill Levy, Alan Goldblatt, Andy Denmark, Gary Landis, Brian Griffith, Michael Cooper, Lindsay Guerrero, Jeff Kowalczyk, Ray Klein, Kevin Delaney, Randy Yant, and executive producer Norm Pattis. I'm Jim Ladd. Backtrack is a presentation of the NBC Radio Network.
You're the poetry